Hi everyone, my name is George Gutierrez. Bank robbers are now working from home. As technology advances every day, it becomes a more essential part of life. One of the most rapidly growing technologies to this day is the smartphone. The smartphone facilitates the use of different activities through the use of applications such as fitness counters, delivery services, mobile banking, and more. Taking a closer look, mobile banking is a fairly new concept being adopted by mostly financial institutions throughout the world. The concept allows the consumer access to some banking services throughout any hour of the day, with limitations presented often including things like income, with more limits present through this concept. The question remains, is mobile banking beneficial for both the consumer and the banks? Or do all the challenges formed by these limitations deem this concept inadequate to be adopted by all banking companies throughout the world? Mobile banking is a revolutionary idea, not only used to serve as an additional service for banks, but also provides a primary banking choice for those consumers who live in the remote areas of countries without financial institutions available on every corner. Often, these remote areas or places with only a handful of banks include underdeveloped countries. These countries, more often than not, are faced with poverty. Although mobile banking is a great concept, one limitation it faces is the fact that the user needs to have a mobile device in order to use this service. With poverty so prominent in many countries, smartphones are often not a necessity, therefore leading people to not have the opportunity to even access such a service. According to this research conducted in adoption and use of mobile banking by low-income individuals in Signal and Imperial analysis of the different factors that affect that adoption of mobile banking, found that because men are more often the ones working, they are more likely to adopt this service. On the contrary, women are less likely than men to adopt mobile banking. As a result, their low income level, because having a mobile banking account first requires owning a mobile phone, which has a cost. Furthermore, another limitation that presents itself to mobile banking is internet access. Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, most businesses and schools were shut down, forcing society to turn away from face-to-face interaction and switch over to the internet for daily tasks. Through this drastic change, access for internet had become a necessity and is often a hardship presented to the lower income families. However, what if this temporary change became a reality? Most rural communities in the world have scarce or non-existent internet availability. According to ITU, only 38.8% of the world's population have access to the internet, either fixed or mobile. Most of these connections are concentrated in the main cities, leaving most of the world's surface with almost no internet availability. Not only that, but even if these underdeveloped countries have access, it is not guaranteed that the connection will be strong enough to support all the services offered through mobile banking. The reality of it is, if the connection is bad, a consumer might be mid-transfer when their device suffers a sudden internet crash, resulting in an incomplete transaction. The adoption of mobile banking is not only limited to income and internet access, but its perception is also affected by the age of an individual in a study conducted by researchers. Burries, Hanachi, and Yahia tests were conducted to find a correlation between baby boomers 1946 to 64, Generation X 1965 to 79, and Generation Y 1980 to 2000. Individuals to the perception of technology, and the results are as follows. Numerous researchers suggested that the young generations, namely Generation Y, and in the lesser extent Generation X, utilize more of the new technologies, in particular for purchasing online or to take advantage of mobile services, because they were born during the apogee of technologies. Older individuals tend to use their phone more functional reasons, while younger people use it as a way of life. The younger generations are more prone to accept mobile banking, thus leaving the older generation stuck to tradition and less likely to adopt these new methods. Although some users may view this concept as a genius, or others would be beg to defer of the limitation of services. For example, banks set limits to the number of transactions the user can complete online, or even a max amount allowed per transfer. Furthermore, all apps do not provide the ability to deposit checks with a simple snap of a picture, thus leading the consumer to end up back in the bank building. Users might argue that although they are able to access information through the use of mobile devices, it does not take away from the fact that most services are needed to be made in person, therefore defeating the purpose of the idea. Technology was built to make the life of a consumer easier, but at what cost? Although technology is advancing the way financial institutions do things, cyber theft and security breaches are still a potential obstacle. Mobile banking has been one of the most talked about innovations in this industry, but one of the major risks is security and privacy concerns consumers have towards this concept. People's finances are a very sensitive area as they work hard to earn that money. Therefore, it is no surprise that the consumers are extremely cautious when it pertains to their security of their money. Although internet and apps are a fascinating concept, hackers are always lurking, trying to find a way to access information that is not theirs. Security gaps impact negatively on trust towards this innovation and low-cost channel, and in turn slow down acceptance of this concept. It is imperative for financial institutions to ensure a safe experience for the consumers through mobile banking. Back in 2014, a researcher discovered several security vulnerabilities in 40 personal banking apps from 60 of the world's biggest banks. These hackers used a phishing attempt in which they would redirect users to fake login pages of their bank to have them believe they were logging in, when in reality, these hackers were just obtaining login credentials to hack into their accounts. Because mobile banking operates through mobile devices, it is easier for the user's information to fall into the wrong hands. Although security is a very big issue when dealing with the web, another issue faced is that all sensitive information is stored in a device. If a user loses it, whoever finds it, the device might be able to access their phone easily, thus revealing all their information without the need to hack into the account via internet. Another concern faced by mobile banking is whether all the investments will be beneficial or detrimental to the finance industry. Although technology has improved many different areas in commerce, will the impact provided by this change be worth it? In a recent study, the author revealed that although mobile banking services is considered as one of the cost-effective systems for both banks and customers, it is still in its infancy age. Since integration of newer technology is a fairly new concept, whether it is beneficial or detrimental towards investors will more likely be of a theory than concrete facts due to the fact that many things can affect it. The mobile banking app provides numerous services to the user. It allows users to pay bills, transfer money, view previous transactions, view statements, cancel debit cards if stolen, and much more, all while the bank is open or closed. This makes it easier on people who work long hours or elderly citizens who simply cannot leave the house so easily. This convenience of this concept appeals to those individuals who prefer to have control over their finances, yet this convenience applies also to the banks themselves. According to the article, Mobile Banking, a fashionable concept or an institutionalized channel in future retail banking, analyzing patterns in the particular and academic mobile banking literature. Banks tend to benefit from mobile banking by providing their services with the help of mobile devices, which result in more personalized and cost-efficient services. Nowadays, sustainability, it becomes a more widely adopted concept throughout various businesses. Most companies have set goals in having zero waste by a certain year. With that being said, mobile banking is a step in the right direction. If more and more users keep switching over to mobile banking, eventually most transactions will be conducted via mobile device, thus creating less paper waste when it comes to deposit or withdrawal slips, as well as transaction receipts. The less waste produced and the more environmentally friendly, thus possibly persuading consumers to be part of the change. The most pressing concern when it comes to mobile devices is security. In order for banks all over the world to ensure trust in their devices and users through mobile banking, they must first install robust cybersecurity to prevent any potential breaches. One of the best ways to ensure trust. Fry's assert the device analytics work behind the scenes to access devices for risk before consumers access their mobile banking application, protecting the financial institution and the consumer from cyber criminals. Although the technology seems complex, the process is simple for customers. When they launch their mobile banking application on their device, it is immediately checked against 8 factors to determine whether the device is at high risk of hacking or not. If this device is secure, consumers are allowed to log in and continue banking. If the device is viewed as risky, they will need to provide an additional confirmation or be denied access to mobile banking applications of their banks. The method is great because it will give the user some peace of mind when using mobile banking. The more a bank is transparent and shows you they truly care about each and every customer, the more trustworthy they will be towards any new concept that arises. Lastly, mobile banking can be a revolutionary concept if it continues to be accepted by the public. In turn, the more it is used, the more society is pushing towards a potentially all automated way of banking rather than having actual buildings with tellers. This could in turn decrease the jobs for those in the financial industry, but it will also have a positive effect on ITs as more will be needed to undergo the operations of mobile banking.